The Carlos Torano Exodus, 1959. What's up, everybody? Eric here from Tea and Tobacco. Today I'm going to do a blind tasting of this Robusto size Carlos Torano. If you haven't seen my channel before, I do all my cigar testings blind for the most part. My wife picks one out, gives me one without a band. So I give you my honest opinion without being tainted by knowing what the brand is or anything like that. So let's go. All right, so let's see what we have today. All right, so we're looking at a medium to dark brown wrapper. Looks like about a Robusto size. It has some very interesting veins, and the cut on the wrapper is a little bit sloppy, but the seams are tight. The pack feels pretty firm all the way around. It just has a nice sweet tobacco aroma to it. It also has a triple cap, but it's pretty sloppy. All right, so let me get this cut up and lit and we'll get to smoking. All right, so right off the bat, there's really not a whole lot of flavor. The smoke output is, you know, medium. The body is pretty light to medium, but really it's just a whole lot of feeling in my mouth. There's a huge amount of heat, spice built up on my palate. I retrohaled some of this and it was very harsh. Probably won't be doing too much of that. For what little flavor there is a little bit of coffee on there, a little bit of cocoa, and kind of a malty and beer-like flavor is the best I can describe it. But there isn't actually a whole lot of flavor. It's really just all feeling for the most part. The draw is pretty much perfect. There's just a slight little resistance, but it's nice and open. So I'll keep smoking this down and I will update you if anything changes. All right, so well into the first third here, about 20 minutes in. The flavors are just really muted, but that feeling has also dropped off too. There's a little bit of spicy heat in the back of my mouth. There's a little bit of tingling on my tongue, but for the most part, there's not a whole lot of flavor. I mean, the smoke output is decent. It's not overly thick. It's a medium thickness as far as mouthfeel goes, but there's just like no flavor to go with it. What little flavor there is, there's a little bit of cocoa, coffee on there, and then there's that kind of beer malt type flavor in there as well. It finishes out into a slight sweetness, but the finish is super short as well, considering how muted it is. The finish just drops right away too. So that's where we are right now. I will continue smoking this down and I will update you somewhere around the halfway point. All right, so I'm about 40 minutes in here. Flavor's still pretty muted. It has developed a little bit, so we have a little bit of burnt coffee in there. And in the finish, it's still that slight sweetness of a finish with a bit of almond in there as well. As far as the burn goes, there's a slight curve to it, but I haven't had to touch it up at all. It's burning pretty good. After I turned off the camera the last time, I knocked that ash off. It came off in one big chunk, and this one's holding on too. So the ash is holding on nice and strong. Just looking down at the construction, the construction of the filler is very spiraled, so I would think it would hold on pretty well. But really, nothing has really changed other than those slight flavor tweaks. Still, the smoke output is still pretty good, though it feels thin and the output is, you know, somewhere medium-ish. I don't have any nicotine hit at the moment that I notice, but that's still just kind of muted flavors, a little bit of heat in the back of the mouth still, and the retrohale is super harsh. So I even like blew out most of the smoke and then retrohaled just a very thin amount just to see if there's any more flavors in there. There's really not a whole lot that comes through. It's just kind of that burning sensation through the nose, and it doesn't really develop into anything to write home about. So I'll probably give you one more update at the end, and then we'll reveal, to me at least, what this is. All right, so I'm pretty much down to the nub here. It's getting pretty washed out at this point, so I'm gonna end it here. Really, the flavors pretty much stayed the same. They might have increased just a little bit in the power of the flavor, but they pretty much stayed the same from my last update. Burn was fine. It never went out or anything like that. Never had to touch it up. So let's see what this is. All right, so this is the Carlos Torano Exodus, 1959. So this is the 50 years from the Exodus anniversary. And actually the construction on this one is about the same as the last one as far as the cap goes. So there you go. Be sure to like and subscribe. I have a whole bunch more videos coming out for you guys. I got this whole humidor back here filled with cigars to do blind tasting tests of. So I'll see you next time on Tea and Tobacco. See you guys.